Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel for HCW. My name is Dan, DP, or D to the pre-Z. And I'm here once again with another UK indie show review. This time we are reviewing the Head Drop Presents Live Wrestling Show, or Head Drop 5, or Head Drop Proudly Present. I don't know what the actual name is, or the official name is for it, but it's the Head Drop Show. It's the 5th Head Drop show that's been produced by the Head Drop. I actually previewed this show with Rob from the Head Drop himself, and that is on the channel. I'll put a link to it in the description below if you're interested in watching it. But that is the preview there, and this is now the review. So once again, like everything patterned, this show was held in the Pleasance Theatre, same day, in fact, as everything patterned. Same place, in fact, as well, actually. And actually had some of the same roster involved in the show as well. The Head Drop was a show that I attended last year. It was thoroughly enjoyable. I enjoyed when I was there. And this show was looking to be no different. So without any further ado, let's get into the show. So to kick things off, we were introduced to the host of the show, the ring announcer, the MC, what you want to call him. This one was Giovanni Giorgio, who is the typical ring announcer for other things, such as like Pro, WrestleFests, SLW. You'll hear Gio in some capacity at Rev Pro normally, if it ain't Francesca. He announces the show, he announces the rules and stuff. So matches on Head Drop shows are a callback to the old style of British wrestling, where everything was done under British rules. So the British rounds format itself is something that is a callback to the to the roots of British wrestling, as the combatants face off in 5 3-minute rounds in a best of 3 format. So the first to get 2 points is declared the winner. And if for whatever reason there's a tie, I'm assuming there's a judge situation or a tiebreak situation. I don't know. But yeah, let's get into the actual matches itself. This was a 4-match card, which was about an hour and a half, about that, give or take. So kicking things off with a match that we saw not so long ago at Every Pattern, which was only about an hour before. We saw Livy Grace taking on Ronnie Knox. So obviously Ronnie Knox wasn't standing for Mercedes Blaze at Every Pattern, but this time Grace and Knox was actually the advertised match for Head Drop. Again, I say this all the time, but Ronnie and Livy are like David and Goliath. It's in a case where Livy is the much larger person, and whereas Ronnie is the smaller person, so Livy has the size advantage and the strength advantage, whereas Ronnie would have the speed advantage and a technical prowess, maybe. However, round 1 of this match is about setting the tone. We find out that Livy has pretty much got everything on this. However, Ronnie uses speed and, as I keep saying, her technical abilities, her technical prowess, to weaken down Livy and gets Livy in a like standing Kimura. I don't know what the word is for it, but like her legs are wrapped around Livy and her arm is like twisted around the back. Livy does fall, and does look as if she's about to submit, but then ultimately doesn't, and time runs out. So we go into the end of round 1. As Ronnie's resting, Livy attacks her from behind and weakens her down and receives her first public warning. A public warning is when you break the rules, essentially, or excessively go against the ref's decisions. If you get 3 of those, I believe it is. If you get 3 of those, you get DQ'd and you lose the match automatically. Pardon me. Round 2, Livy is, because of the attack, she's in the driver's seat at this point. She weakens Ronnie with more moves, and then eventually, after a splash, she's able to pin Ronnie, and it's 1-0. So Livy gets the first fall of the match. We get a break, and then we go into round 3, which is more of the same as what I've written here. It's basically like Ronnie trying to get some offense going, and then every bit of offense she gets going on, Livy just cuts it off and breaks it down. So Livy's still working on Ronnie. Ronnie does get a spark back, as I've said, but unfortunately, Livy snuffs that out and then is able to submit or pass out Ronnie. I don't know what the official term was for that, but she had Ronnie's arm like twisted behind her back and then was like kneeing her in the head, and that either caused Ronnie to tap out or passed out. Or ref stoppage. I don't know what the reason was. Either way, the third round and the second fall was awarded to Livy, so Livy wins straight out 2-0. Uh, I gave that 3 stars. Uh, Honestly, I didn't enjoy it more or less than the match that I've been patterned. It meant we got to see more of the pair of them, which is always a good thing. And because of the rounds format, it made the matches a bit longer. Whereas I don't know how long the thing pattern match was. It didn't feel that long, but this one felt a bit longer because of the rounds format, which added to their advantage because you can tell more of the story in that match as well. So ultimately, it's for the better. So we move on to the tag match that came up next. Important to note here that the tag match was not done under British rules, British rounds, uh, and in fact, it was just done under standard tag match rules. Uh, at this point, I've got to admit that I made a error in judgment, and I completely forgot to mention the fact that all these shows that were put on by Wrestival were all interpreted BSL, British Sign Language. There was a guy, I didn't get his name, but there was a guy who was at the side of the ring, and he was doing interpretation through hand signals for BSL for the entire thing. So for like show like wrestlers theme music, he was doing sign language for that. Things that said in the ring, things that were announced, every single thing was being BSL interpreted, which was amazing to see. Uh, so fair play on Wrestival as well for having that, or the Pleasance or whoever arranged that essentially. But fair play to whoever arranged that to have that because that's insane and the amount of talent as well that goes into that and a lot of hard work and determination as well. So very good stuff. Unfortunately for the interpreter though, in this tag match we had the teams of Warren Banks and Jordan Breaks taking on the team of Mike Bird and Jerry Bakewell. Mike Bird acknowledged the BSL interpreter and then said, "I'm gonna make your job extremely hard." And then he proceeds to say these few like old timey words or like nonsensical words that the BSL interpreter then got to interpret to put along the message. Uh, it was funny. It was very good, very good. Um, but yes, the match itself, Mike Bird and Jay Bakewell actually fought at the last head drop show. So that's character development for pair of them. They're now teaming up. Uh, Mike Bird, obviously the godfather of Welsh professional wrestling and professional wrestling. Jay Bakewell is famous for being a technician who also appeared on Britain's Got Talent. Taking on the team of Warren Banks and Jordan Briggs, who are actually going to be facing a purpose for the purpose title. Jordan is a very young, very good technician wrestler, whereas Warren is more of a grappler, more of a striker, I'd say. Uh, but the styles continue to blend well, and then we'll see how the match goes. So to kick things off, it's Mike Bird and Jordan Breaks. And they have a great little technical exchange between the pair of them. And then they exchange to Bakewell and Banks, who proceed to have a strike off with like uppercuts being exchanged between the pair of them. The match itself is very evenly distributed in regards to who has the upper hand. With all four of them exchanging in and out and taking advantage of the match when and where they could. Uh, Although saying that, Briggs and Banks did have the advantage for most of the match itself. Uh, at one point, Jordan Breaks gets a hot tag and he takes out Bird on the side, but he also accidentally takes out Banks when he misses Bakewell. And then Banks gets a hot tag and then he takes out Mike Bird and then he takes out Jordan by accident when Bakewell moves out of the way, and then that enables Bakewell to roll up Banks for the free. Very surprising victory here. I assumed it was Warren and Jordan, but it did not. Jerry has been on every single head drop show, which is something that also me and Rob discussed on the preview show. But it has been another win for Jerry. I don't know who won against Mike Bird. I don't recall. Uh, I want to say he did, but I will revisit that. But anyway, this is the win for Jerry. Win for Mike. The pair of them win, and we get more BSL celebration. Uh, no, this is a win for Bakewell and for Bird, and the pair of them uh, have a slight confrontation with Breaks and Banks, who are angry that Jerry seemed to pull the tights of Warren to get the win, but what you can't prove, eh? Match itself, 3 star. Very fun, very enjoyable. Uh, Jerry's antics add a lot to matches that he's in because he's just so very interactive with the crowd and very like even the like little nuances that he does. It's like if one person in the crowd cheers for Jerry, he'll be like he'll react to it and then go back to what he's doing. And most wrestlers don't do that. Most of them just ignore or they acknowledge it in a silent way while they still focus on what they're doing in the match itself. Um, but with the actual match itself, like Mike and Jay were more interactive with the crowd, whereas Warren and Jordan were more uh, get down to the ring, get down to brass tacks. So like, I'm gonna fight you, I'm gonna beat you up, I'm gonna submit you, I'm gonna do whatever. Uh, but no, ultimately, Jerry and Mike get the win here, and yeah, good stuff, very good stuff so far. So we go now into the next match, which was another British rounds match. Whereas we have uh, Amira, the feisty flame of Ireland, taking on Laura Di Matteo. Uh, I have said it before. I'll say it again. I am very high on Laura Di Matteo. Genuinely one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. Uh, it's amazing to me that she's not been picked up by someone. Progress, Pro, even America. Like honestly, like she would be so good. Even like Stardom or something like that, somewhere in Japan. Like if she could blend in there, like she would do fantastically. Like she is amazing, like in the ring and what she does. As in the mirror, don't get me wrong, Amira is also great, but Mira is more of a character worker, I would say. She's very good at it though. Uh, so the match itself kicks off. Amira does not take very kindly to the fans chanting for Laura and not her. Amira then mentions about her OnlyFans being £4. Uh, don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but hey ho, we're there now. Um, Basically, she goes into the crowd, asks the crowd, what is it that she has to do for them to cheer her? So she's really like taken aback by the fact that no one's cheering for her, or very limited people are cheering for her. Doesn't hear what she wants to hear, comes in, and is rolled up by Laura for the free. 1-0 Laura. Amira basically is not happy with this. But albeit we are now into the end of round one, and we go into round two. Round two kicks off. Laura has early control. Amira does take control, however, after a hard strike. Amira does what she normally does and taunts between moves on Laura. She's now very less focused on the crowd and more on the people, more on Laura. Sorry. Uh, Amira locks in a Cobra Clutch on Laura, but Laura breaks free of it. And then Laura locks in a body submission. I don't know what it's called. That's on my own. I apologize. But locks in a submission where her legs are wrapped around Amira's head and body and tried to submit her that way, but the time runs out. So it's still 1-0 Laura as we go into round three. But before round three even begins, Amira attacks Laura. And this gives her first public warning. 2 more and she'll be disqualified. Uh, Round three kicks off. Amira's in control for the start of it because again, like Livy and Ronnie, like someone attacks someone beforehand, so it gives her the upper hand to begin with. They exchange control though, however. Laura gets on a hot streak, but then is then taken down by Amira, and I missed the move itself. But Amira hits a move and gets a free count onto Laura, make it 1-1. Laura is pissed off at this rate that she's lost a round here. However, when round 4 starts, Laura's on a hot start. Amira comes back. Only got the 2 counts for a move. More back and forth between the pair of them until Laura's able to lock in that body submission again. And then eventually Amira taps out. And then that is the end of it. Laura wins 2-1 on the British rounds format. I rated this 3.5 star. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I enjoyed Laura's ability. I enjoyed Amira's ability. I absolutely loved Amira's feistiness in regards to how she was on the mic, how she was pissed off at the fans, the crowd interaction. Everything that Amira did was spot on. It was crazy, but not too crazy, which was the perfect blend, really. Whereas Laura herself doesn't need to talk to the crowd too much. She just needs to get in the ring and be herself, be the kick-ass woman she is, and be the technical master that she is. It's amazing stuff to see. Uh, so we can go down to the main event, which was originally meant to be uh, Cassius versus Spike Trivet. That's what was announced. However, Spike Trivet is hurt, so he can't be here. So he's been replaced by someone. We still have Cassius though in the main event. So Cassius comes out, and then we are greeted. No, sorry, he's out for second. Uh, the person who replaces Spike Trivet is revealed first, and it's none other than his tag partner, Rhea O'Reilly. Rhea is a big part of Wrestival. Rhea uh, is part of the uprising at Pro Wrestling Eve. Uh, she is supposedly Spike Trivet's tag partner, which I don't know how accurate that is. I just know that they were a team at the last Wrestival, the last head drop show, sorry. Uh, where they fought Thug and Ronnie Knox, I believe it was. Yeah. But anyway, they fought them back then and they won. So I guess they're a team by extension of that. I don't know if they team anywhere else. But anyway, Rhea's here. Um, Rhea gets on the mic. She talks about how Cassius is a wannabe diva, and how he's a joke, and how he shouldn't be in wrestling, and in general, just is a bad sort of like person. Uh, but Cassius comes out. A lot of crowd uh, favoritism here. Like Cassius is absolutely favorite. There's very much a face and heel divide. We're promised to face and heel divide with Spike Trivet. We're getting that with Rhea O'Reilly as well, playing the role of the heel, which was done very well. Uh, so Rhea has early control of the match because there's a point to prove that Cassius is not, uh, like all there as a wrestler. However, Cassius is able to pick up steam. Uh, Cassius hits, so not Cassius, sorry, Rhea hits a rope hung, leg locked headlock. It's like a tarantula, but only with the head over the ropes, the legs crossing over the rope. Uh, they then go to the outside. They fight on the outside. They slam each other's heads and tables, and then they go back to the ring. Um, and then Cassius does the same thing, the tarantula headlock thing over the ropes to Rhea, and ultimately wins with the lifting DDT. So like DDT stance, lifts, slams, and that gets the break for Cassius, and Cassius wins, and we get a little best of both worlds Hannah Montana song play. That is Cassius' theme that he enters to, and yeah, and that's the end to this show. I gave this match 3 stars. I wasn't too hot on it to begin with because it didn't follow the British rounds format. I didn't mention that at the start, but I should have. That it was then dubbed as American All In, which means there's no rules essentially. There's no count outs or anything like that. It's just a standard match, but it's not DQ, if that makes sense. No count outs, no British rounds, no timers, nothing like that. Um, yeah, it was a good match. Rhea did what she could, make the match work, which is fine. Sometimes you got to stand in. When you do, it comes out either really good or sometimes not so good. This was still a good match. I'm happy with how it turned out. I enjoyed myself. I gave it 3 stars. I think I said that already. I don't know, but yeah, I gave it 3 stars, and yeah, I'm happy with it. And the head drop show itself was a very good show. It was fantastic, actually. In all honesty, I am a huge fan of the British round format. Uh, I like old style wrestling as well, so I like the what's the word, like the grappling, the uh Greco-Roman sort of style. I like the old grappling style as well. So that mixed in with technical stuff as well is really good for me. And the British round format is also something that's really good for like storytelling purposes as well, to get a story across, like between heel or face, or overcoming the odds, or whatever the reason is. Uh, but yeah, head drop show, really good, and yeah, I enjoy myself. And that will bring an end to this review. I've been Dan, DP DeBreezy, and this has been the Head Drop Presents Live Wrestling 5 show. Head Drop 5. Our socials are in the description below. My Twitter is there. And yeah, that's all I've got to plug really. We're on Twitch, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, obviously we're on YouTube because this is where you're watching it. We're on Facebook now because we're going back to the olden times. I'm on Instagram as well. But again, FB's in the description. Uh, but yeah, that's all for here. That's all for the Head Drop Show. That's all for our Wrestival coverage for this year. Uh, no, for this part of the year, sorry, for this biannual. Uh, so they will run the shows again towards the later part of the year. If you want more Wrestival covered, then leave a comment below or in our DMs or whatever, and I will do what I can to attend more of these shows and get reviews out for these shows as well, because ultimately it's all about exposure, and Wrestival was a very good thing for wrestling in general. Uh, Not only because of the cheap prices, because you can see like the stars you'd see on the big shows for like a fraction of the price. It's like, was it like 14 quid, something like that, to get a ticket for one of these shows. And if you buy multiple tickets, you get a discount as well, so it's even cheaper. Uh, but yeah, that's been it. I've been Dan, DP, and this is me signing off. See you next one. Peace.